Welcome to the Bleep Bulimia podcast with guest Kerry Blaser, mother, shaman, and author. Hello, everyone. I am Lorianne. I am the host of Bleep Bulimia, and today I have all of my guests are special, but this one is really hits to the bone. Kerry Blaser, she's a mother, shaman, and author. I love this about what she writes. Woman of valor. Innocence wrapped in valor. I wield my sword of compassion, cutting open emotional wounds to reveal hidden wisdoms within. That is just absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me and allowing me to share my stories of being around eating disorders in my personal life and my family life.
And your book and everything, please.
Yeah.
It's going to be wonderful to hear about it. So let's start with that. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your past.
So I had a traumatic childhood. And as you probably can imagine, my parents had a traumatic childhood. I experienced generational trauma. And like my dad, his parents got a divorce in the 50s. And they did get back together. And my grandma would, for the youngest uncle, would, when he was a teenager, allow him to be in his recliner while she put on his shoes, fed him, and did his hair at 16, 17 years old. She was that codependent with him. Okay. My grandpa, workaholic, super successful. All the men are engineers in my family. Then my mom's family. Well, long story short, my mom got engaged 4 times before marrying my father, who ended up being 4 years younger than her. That's how anxious of an attachment style she had. She was an alcoholic, okay, and he was a workaholic. And so they both had their problems. Enter me, I was born in 1970. My brother's a year and a half older. And my parents got a divorce when I was 6. And we lived in a very affluent town in Southern California. And then my mom and my brother and I moved into an apartment while my dad in the 70s, 80s was already making 6 figures. So there's a lot of challenge and a lot of arguing. My dad would argue about paying child support, and my mom would berate him, and there was all this back and forth, right? And then when I was growing up, I remember my mom telling me that she would save her calories for wine. And here's the eating disorder, right? She's super thin, fake boobs, blonde, fake hair, and very surface level, like had to put on her makeup to go get the mail. And you see me, like, I don't, that surface level, right? And like, I don't even own makeup. Like I own some lipstick that I don't even wear. Like I have gray hair. Like if you look on my website, you'll see I got gray hair. I'm 55. But, that was my mom, and that's what she was, raised around, and she was that anxious and that didn't love herself and believe in herself that she, engaged 4 times. And so I would hear, oh, your figure's so great, Kerry. Oh, you look so good. And that's like when I wasn't eating. Oh, so if I don't eat all day long and then eat a little in the evening after going to the beach in the summer, my mom praises me for my body. Okay. But that's the world. She was very surface level. And then I went and got a master's degree in East Asian religious studies.
For you.
So I was like, I'm like, okay. And so I would say like kind of that was my childhood. And my book goes from, it starts, oh wait, I'm going to sneeze. Yeah. Okay, if I sneeze, it's coming. I forewarned you.
And I will bless you.
Forewarned, bless. Okay, okay. All right. So on my 45th birthday, and my mom and I were always close. Not that close with my dad, always close with my mom, but she would use shame and guilt and fear to control me. And, we had our problems and she never healed. So on my 45th birthday, she passed away. I had brought her back from Florida, back to California, and allowed her to, see her grandchildren and my stepfather. And, I gave her the death that she asked for. No tubes, I stopped the medication. I fought her brother over it. Didn't care. I'm in charge. Done.
May I ask what she passed from?
She had encephalopathy from all the alcoholism, and she stopped being able to swallow, and she started having blood clots. So it was like, I could keep giving her shots in her stomach to stop the blood clots, but she doesn't want tubes, and the swallowing will never come back. She asked for no tubes. She thanked me for it profusely. After she died, she came through in a vision, in a dream, after I went back to sleep because she passed away early in the morning on my birthday, and thanked me for doing exactly what she asked. And of course, it turned out that was profound, that she passed away on my birthday. Our souls choose our birthday, our death day, certain days very specifically. So with her, I have my birthday with her, and then I have her death day, which shows how important I am to her. It's not like, oh, I'm sorry, Kerry. I mean, sure, yeah, it's painful. My mom died, but it's actually a celebration of our connection based on like a soul, on the soul logic. That's what happened on a soul level. And so that was a day I needed to embrace my shamanic gifts and heal from my childhood trauma. And that's how I knew, like, that was the moment I knew I needed to heal. And that's when it
Wow.
started, was 10 years ago in June.
That's amazing. I do believe in strange things. I was born exactly 6 years after my grandmother passed away on a Sunday, September 23rd.
Oh, wow.
And my mother was going through a severe depression. And
Mhm.
she said when she got pregnant with me, it helped her get through it. I was a
Mm.
surprise child, believe it or
Mm.
not.
No.
Maybe a mistake. But anyway, I'm
Not a
joking. I'm
mistake.
joking. That's a
Nope.
joke. That's a
No.
joke. That's a
But
joke.
it's not a joke
But
because it's
but
in you.
right.
I'm
So my
not going to
mother
let you
always
joke like
said to
that.
me, there was something very special about you that she always felt that I was a message from her mother.
Mm.
Right.
What was the
And
message?
so that
What's
was,
the
so I believe in that. I believe in dates. I believe in numbers. Like I find them fascinating. So I'm right on board with you on this. So thank you for sharing that. Not
yeah.
everybody does, but that is my thing. Yeah.
So
So
do you know what the
go on with
wisdom
your,
is?
sorry?
Do you know what the wisdom is that you're supposed to share with your mother?
No,
The message?
not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty exciting that you still have wisdom to discover inside your wounds. That's where the wisdom is
But
stored, inside the
but
wound. I mean, that's what I discovered. Yeah.
here's an interesting thing. And this is not about me, this is about you. But an
Mhm.
interesting
Yeah.
thing is I was COVID stuff. So I was kicked out of my
Mm.
apartment.
Mm.
Renters were doing that. We're moving in. We're going to double the
Yeah.
price in a year later thing. So it
Yeah.
gave me the opportunity to move in with my parents.
Mm.
And I was there for mom
Mhm.
when dad, he was fine when I first moved in. He had had three strokes and for like 7 years
Mm.
before, but he
Wow.
was functional and very beautiful, like wonderful. And he had aphasia, but he learned how to communicate enough. I understood him. But I was there for the last year and a half, and particularly the last 6 months where dad was going to be there
Mm-hmm.
with my mom.
Yeah.
So I figured here I was, another blessing on my mom other than that one. So I think I was meant to be here for my mom, which I would have
People,
never thought because my mom and I didn't always get along.
right. It's the ones we love the most, connect to the most, can teach us the deepest lessons,
Yes.
you know.
So
So,
it's truly
so,
beautiful. She turned 90 in July, and
oh,
she still gets to stay in the house that she loves because I'm here. And then my daughter moved in. So yeah,
oh,
lots of
I love that. That's like, because my story is exploring feminine pain, right? My inner heroine exploring feminine pain. And you're at home
yeah,
with all the women in your life healing and loving each other. And you still have a message to give your mom. Isn't that exciting? Like something
it
to look
is.
forward to. So how can you be a mistake when you're bringing a message to your mom from your grandma?
I know that was a joke though,
But
because
it's
my
not.
parents had everything set, right? They had
Mm,
everything set and they went, oops. But no, they never made me feel like that. They never did. I know
good.
that some parents have actually made
Mm,
children feel like, hey, we didn't plan you.
hmm.
You're a mistake. But no, my parents never did. Plus, they had another one after me, so it really like,
Oh, wow. Well,
yeah.
that kind of gets me into my youngest who has the eating disorder. That's a nice
Oh,
segue back to my youngest. So these are my three kids. My son is 27, my older daughter is 24, and my youngest daughter is 23. And this is the most valuable piece of art in the house because he doesn't make art. And of course, they are both artists.
Oh,
So I,
wow. I
I put at
love
the top.
that.
So my youngest, and I talk about it in the book a little bit, but she developed an eating disorder. And when she was 16, she had to be hospitalized for it. And then she
Oh,
went to rehab. And at rehab, she learned that eating disorders are a maternal wound. And I'm not saying that people with eating disorders don't have maternal wounds. But when I went to that therapy session, the therapist, her, and her dad all came for me as if there weren't family dynamic issues. So people are raised within a dynamic and not, I don't live in a vacuum by myself, right?
true.
So the
Yeah.
chances that my daughter, like her dad's Israeli, was in wars, grandpa was in wars, like Israel is a traumatic place he had his own trauma, right? So I'm there in this therapy session kind of going, look, we have problems, but blaming me for all the problems doesn't help solve the family problems which produced her. And how was she produced? Which it connects to your story. So my older daughter, I didn't value my ability to create human life. I didn't value my femininity. Feminine pain means I didn't value my femininity. And femininity creates human life and femininity fuels masculinity. I didn't value my ability to do both because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand myself. So I went back to work when she was 4 weeks old in January because we didn't have money. And I developed bacterial pneumonia and I almost died. I spent 2 weeks on a ventilator and I almost died. And I spent 5 days on 100% oxygen. So when I came home and tried to go back on the pill because I couldn't nurse anymore and stuff, my hormones were so out of whack, it just sent me into deep depressive episodes. It was just a nightmare for me. So I had to be off the pill. 11 months later, I'm at the top of the stairs. My intuition tells me there's a third. I go downstairs and initiate unprotected sex with my husband at the time. We're since divorced. I got pregnant. When I was 6 weeks along, he was scared. He told me I needed to have an abortion because of my older daughter that I almost died. And he's like, well, choose between the child and the pregnancy and the marriage. And I said, well, you can make a choice, but I'm not going to. But I really made a choice in that moment. Like I was done. Done. Okay. So my older daughter and I he just recently healed from that wound because when a mother leaves the child, an infant just instantaneously, they typically internalize that the mother's dead. So she's been looking for a mom for 24 years and we've been arguing for 24 years. Now this one, her dad wanted the abortion. So, and she knows it because he told her, okay, as a teenager. I'm just stating what happened, okay?
Oh,
I'm not
no,
saying
I can relate here. Huh? Okay, don't
you
worry.
you understand, right?
Yeah.
And so so anyway, this is like the setup, right? So I go to this therapy and they all blame me. And then on the way home, I internalize that negativity. I thought I had lost my third child because my son and I had tons of problems. Okay, other problems because, she's treating me, her subconscious is telling her your mom's dead, doesn't care, like hates you, whatever her subconscious, because she was an infant. She just internalized mom's gone. That hurts. She's an infant. So this one, then he didn't even agree to be her father until I was like 32 weeks along. And there was tons of arguing during her pregnancy. And so she internalized all that because, that's what happened to her dad and me. And so she's still at his house arguing. He's Israeli and she's super liberal and she's going on and on about Palestine and Iran and all this stuff where he's super knowledgeable and he's still having a hard time drawing boundaries with her because they're still healing from that wound. Okay. So, but no one brought that up inside of therapy. Don't forget that, the whole reason she has an eating disorder, won't even feed herself, is because I'm so awful. Okay, so I'm just saying this because this is such a common theme in eating disorder communities that it's a maternal wound. Stop it.
Yes.
If the mother's hurt, the father's also hurt. That's how it works. So So I came home and my brain told me that my children would be better off with a dead mother than a live one. And I was taking trazodone and Klonopin and Soma and Ambien, and I just refilled everything. I took like 120 Klonopin, trazodone, like 50 trazodone, 50 Soma. I don't know how I lived. My older daughter came the next morning. I went upstairs, fell asleep instantly, and I couldn't sleep. That's why I was on so many medications. And I just let go. I was just done. And that was 6 years ago. And
Wow.
and then my older daughter found me the next morning and got me to the hospital. But then here's like, so we just had this connection. We attract people into our lives based on our wounds. Our souls are energy bodies. And this is all in the book. I lean on the laws of physics and shamanism, psychology, and neuroscience to explain the process that I went through to heal from my trauma and experience enlightenment more than 10 times last year. So getting all that out, is a lot. But here's the thing. Oh, what was I getting at? Oh, now I
think you're just so adorable.
All the we attract things, events into our life. So I attempt suicide. I go to the hospital. I go to the psych ward. There's an 18-year-old girl in there with an eating disorder because her mom had passed away when she was 11. And we were sharing a room. And so I was able to see my daughter in her and see myself in her situation, right? We resonated. We had, commonality. And so the night before we both left, her mom came through intuitively and gave me a message to give her. And it included her childhood nickname that we had never discussed. So I gave her the message and we both freaked out. It was the first time I ever knowingly gave a message to someone else like that. I mean, I'm looking back, they came through, but I didn't understand what was happening. So then in the middle of the night, her mom's soul asked me, because I still had a hard time sleeping. I can sleep now. That was 6 years ago, but that's all the healing work, right? And I told her, I said, as long as you approach her with loving intentions, she will receive your love. And she hadn't had hunger cues in 3 years. She woke up the next morning with hunger cues and ate a full breakfast. I mean, she was thin, thin, thin. I was like, whoa, I guess I'm on this thing. But here's where, if you think that your whole life is a valley of darkness, because I used to think that I had 35 years of debilitating lower back pain. It's not. That is your soul preparing you for growth, preparing you for wisdom, because the amount of wisdom that I will gain in this lifetime is equal to the amount of wounds I took on. So if you want to experience enlightenment's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. How deep of a valley of darkness do you have to go through to prepare to be able to ascend the next mountaintop? And since our souls are energy bodies, and physicists have proven that we have energy bodies, our souls plan our lives based on the laws of physics. And so here's a physics experiment that's in the book. So you have two balls on two tracks. They're identical balls, and the tracks are the same distance. One goes slightly downhill, and one has hills and valleys. So this one, the hills and valleys, the distance traveled is technically longer. Which ball reaches the finish line first? The hills and valleys or the downhill track?
That's an interesting one. I would think the hills and valleys because it gets the inertia to get there. Whereas the one doesn't, right? Just steady, slow.
Slowly declining through life. That doesn't sound very good. But when you have
want to go to sleep yet?
When you have a traumatic childhood, you don't understand because your parents don't understand. You dream of that life, right? But we are here, souls having a human experience. We are here to learn how to surf the waves of life, the hills and valleys. And so for me, my soul had it planned for me to experience enlightenment more than 10 times. Well, I had to take on an equal amount of wounds. That's a lot of wounds. But I needed all that to bring out the best parts of me, to dive that far deep down into my shadow, into my subconscious, into my pain, the parts of myself I deny and hate and don't want. So I go, okay, I guess if I turn my wounds into self-belief, then I'll believe in myself more. And that's really the process of healing, is going into your wounds, uncovering the wisdom inside the wound. Like I had a wound, I fear all men. Well, when I realized I had that wound, I'm like, well, yeah, sure, fear some men, but not all men. That had me fearing half of society. That's a lot of anxiety, hence all the medication, right? Well, when I turned that wound into wisdom, which is men protect me, and I went outside the next day and I visited my older daughter at her market because she used to make jewelry. She noticed immediately that I was calmer, laughing more, present more, not looking around, not anxious. She had a new, healthier mom because I processed my wounds. And then when I process my wounds, I can teach my kids how to process their wounds. And as the emotional center, as the woman, this is my job. And I'm going to bring up this next point because it's the most important point that I make, and I have to make it in every podcast, is that women do not acknowledge their role in masculine well-being. Okay? Women, we are the emotional center. Okay? And then men are once removed. Women are designed to do the emotional work. Our nervous system is far more robust than the masculine nervous system, evidenced by a higher infant mortality rate for male infants. Further evidenced by neurologists having to put far more energy and far more like volume to turn on the nerves inside of a woman than a man. If they did that to men, men would throw up. Okay? So as women, we haven't embodied our role fully. And our role fully is to keep ourselves emotionally healthy and keep the men emotionally healthy and then the children emotionally healthy. And all the women are complaining about the patriarchy. Well, girls, why are men acting emotionally unbalanced? We aren't handling our side of things. We are still learning how to be healthy, feminine women. And as long as we blame men for our problems, society doesn't improve. And I'm a grandmother, like, not yet, but I will be, a grandmother soon. And, it used to be when a mom comes out in society to talk about problems, like back up, like it was like, mom's coming out, and that's what this is. I am done with people telling me I need to be sexually promiscuous, I need to have a corporate job and not be healthy in my femininity and act like a man to be a valuable woman. No. I am valuable because I produce children. I'm valuable because I have a womb. I'm valuable because I know how to self-reflect. I'm valuable because I can teach people how to connect to their soul. I'm valuable because of my femininity, not because I can act like a man. And that's my main lesson.
I love it. So here's my thing too. So maybe you can help me not to be afraid of guys, but it's not that. I'm not afraid of men. I'm not at all afraid of men. I'm 62. I've had 2 loves in my life, married 15 years, divorced, had a really wonderful boyfriend. Both of them left me for a 12-year younger woman, but that, my second one, my friend, my ex, I don't speak too much, but my boyfriend, we were friends before we got into our relationship, and when it ended, we still keep in touch, and it's just like, it's nice because we have memories, and it's nice to remember the memories together. I wish my ex would do that because there's only him that I can remember the memories of our kids, right? And there's only my boyfriend that I can remember the memories of my kids, who he took on as very much like his daughter. I did too. But the whole thing is, I'm not afraid of it, but a relationship now I am, because what did you say? There's sexual expectations, even at 62, believe it or not. Women out there at 62, believe it or not, doesn't have to be 50, 62. Men are still expecting certain sexual. I'm like, what did my ex call me? A nun. Sorry.
Me too.
I don't feel like doing all that stuff. Go away. And you can't find me like that. So I'm afraid of a relationship because I don't want to get entrenched in that. It's like, to me right now, being single for 14 years, when I want to, I do. When I don't, I don't. And in a relationship, it's not so set that way. So you're very beautiful in saying, yes, I have to treat, but to find somebody that is within my scope of what I would see as, oh yeah, that's somebody I want to be with for the rest of my whatever life I have. Because trust me, I'm in my last quarter here.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to take a lot. So it's like my mom said, like she lost my dad a year and a half ago. She goes, "Do you think I could find someone else?" I go, "No, mom, seriously, dad was it." Like, don't
She's
bother.
90. I
Learn how
know.
to love being single. Just learn how to love loving yourself and have fun. If it happens, it happens. And I know what I'm looking for. But if that never shows up, I am so secure in myself, loving my children. Um, but being a single mom, that's a tough thing. I also had problems with my oldest son, and my youngest son, my
Mm,
daughter, all three
mhm,
of them I did.
mm.
I speak to all three of them. My daughter does have issues because, yeah, we had a whirlwind of stuff going on, but we do communicate very well. She lives in the same home, but that doesn't make it a perfect home.
No, I mean, our
And my
relationships,
mother
yeah.
is very, no filter. And sometimes I'm no filter, and she's very sensitive to that because she thinks that we are putting her down. Oh my goodness, my daughter's brilliant. I mean, she took psychology, she took engineering, she's a photographer, she's everything.
Mm,
In the home's a different thing, don't you agree, Kelly?
yeah. Oh no, I
Very,
mean,
very.
yes, this is the thing. Our relationships are our best mirror. And so
Yes.
you have, several women who have a lot of feminine pain.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
and then,
Yes.
men are the
Yes.
mirror. And so it's easy to blame men for our problems. So, okay, here's a prime example in the book. Okay. First guy, there's 6 guys in the book, and I'll just trigger warning. Number 2 and 3 are Justin Waller and Andrew Tate. Okay. And I'm
Okay.
not kidding. Like those are, I was talking to Justin. I wasn't actually talking to Andrew in person. I was just talking to Andrew Soul, but just kind of pre-warned, but I learned a lot and they mirrored things back to me. I saw myself through them just profoundly and they helped me so much. Okay. But the first guy, this was December of 2020. We started talking and I thought I had healed. I thought, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. No, no. Okay, I didn't want to date with any of these guys, and maybe I'm ready now. Okay, just how delusional I was. Okay, but that's when you have a lot of emotional pain, you're in darkness, so you can't see clearly.
Mhm.
So okay, it makes sense. So I don't beat myself up for it. Okay. So 2 months after we started talking, and I mean, like it was like gangbusters, and our souls like lit up for each other outside in the dark. I'm like, it was like 2 to 3 feet out from his body, and he's all lit up, and I'm all lit up, and I'm like all this magical, mystical is happening between us, right? So we're at yoga one day, and because I only talked to him at yoga, and then I texted him. So he had a special relationship with one of the yoga instructors who joked around sexually a lot and kind of joked around casually flaunting her side business as a dominatrix. Okay. I'm not kidding. So I've
Okay.
had an interesting life. I've been through a lot. So we're
Oh,
there
I
at the
know
front of
these
the
words
class.
though, so you know that I've been around this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So we're at the front of the class and we're flirting. And so she starts stomping dominatrix style around his mat. He lays down and gets into like the position, like fending himself, protecting himself from an invisible whip. And I'm like, he messed up. What? There's no way I am that messed up. Okay.
Right?
It took me a couple of years to swallow the pill that, oh, I am that messed up. And that my wounds attracted him with his wounds into my life as the perfect
Oh,
counterbalance. This is the perfect counterbalance. So I had a wound that I'm replaceable. So my soul, to show me that wound, attracts men into my life who have multiple women. Well, men with multiple women also have wounds, like Justin Waller. His mom is on YouTube, okay, talking crap about him, giving out her phone number so more people can call her and she can talk crap about him while she records herself and puts it on YouTube. And we wonder why Justin Waller has a problem with women. Do you
oh,
see how bad
wow.
it was for these men? And that's Andrew Tate, who, one man, multiple women, classic, right? I helped him with his maternal wounds. You know, they were helping me with my paternal wounds, and they were
Yeah.
I was helping them with their maternal wounds. And so I could be mad at them for having multiple women, but their multiple women showed me why I attract men into my life with multiple women. Like Hero 5 was married, fire captain, fire academy instructor, decorated. Like people think Andrew's messed up. He was warm up for me for the fire department because I had two fire academy instructors I met at yoga, and then the FBI,
Wow.
right?
You know what? Talking about this, actually, I'm looking back on my choices.
Mm-hmm. I knew we'd talk.
And yeah, definitely. And I can see actually, well, I could definitely see, so my ex-husband, I could see it, but you're talking about engineers, or engineers in all
All
my family. My
engineers.
dad was,
Yeah.
my ex-husband was, except for my boyfriend wasn't, but he was an auto body, so like, and auto tech, so kind of, because it's
Yeah,
like,
how does it work?
kind of.
Yeah, he fits the mold.
But he was the boyfriend was a lot more open to me. Okay, so mother disappears. He's brought up by his grandmother.
Hmm.
He had multiples as well.
Hmm.
He loved dearly, though, every one of the women that he was with, though, that I do know. And
Yeah.
he would go back to them, and he would go back to them. So guess what
Yeah.
I would think you would pick up on is that loss of his mother, continually looking for
When men have a maternal
love.
wound, they go for breadth and not depth. Like I
Yeah,
saw this video of this guy, multimillionaire, super successful at business, and it's, a YouTube video. And so they ask him, well, is your wife replaceable or is your business replaceable? Oh, my wife is replaceable. I can find another woman and have
yeah,
kids. I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
oh, you messed up to think that people and your children can be just created by anybody. But
yeah.
money is like the sacred, but in Hebrew, there's a saying, there are no drawers in your coffin. So,
Right.
Jews can be
What's
quite
the other
wise.
saying? You never see a hearse following a U-Haul following a hearse.
Right, right. There you
I love
go.
that saying. I'm sorry, I think
Totally.
that is just so cute. You come with nothing, you go with nothing, honey. Like,
All you get to keep is the kind of consciousness expansion that you did, in this lifetime. And that's what our
now,
souls get to keep.
you're very spiritual, so I'm going to ask you this because this is really important. So I had a nephew who passed away when he was 23 of cancer. I still feel him very, 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 very strongly in this aura. I feel that he was such a positive. Everyone, my kids loved him.
Yeah,
Every
he came in
cousin
instantly.
loved him.
Yeah, he's
He
like right
was
here with
like
you. Yeah.
he and his aura is everywhere.
Yeah.
I still cry when he's not here with us, and that's like in
Yeah.
19 he was passed away in 2008. So it's not like it was
Mm.
yesterday, but his aura is so strong and has still been with me the whole time. We were best
Yeah.
friends. We did crazy things together. We were techie. So that's an interesting thing. Now my father passed away a year and a half, December, so it's going to be 2 years in December.
Mhm.
I get little teeny pockets of him, but sometimes I think it's because my mother is still alive, so he is still very, how when you get married, you're one. And I
Yeah.
really believe that my dad is still living in my mom.
Hmm.
And by the way, there's a beautiful song by Dean Lewis. Look it up. It basically says, "How can I say goodbye?" Seriously, it's a beautiful
Okay.
song. I just found it. It popped up. Again, another thing I believe in, when things pop up and
Yeah.
you see them, you go, wow, there's a
Your
message there.
soul. Yeah.
And the truth is, it says, you gave me my name and you gave me the color of your eyes. So how can I say goodbye? And so I see you every morning when I look into the mirror. So how can I say goodbye to someone who's been with me for my whole damn life? I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a plug on that song, but anyone who's lost
Yeah.
anyone, it's
Yeah.
really, really compelling. And it was, to me, I actually cried, realized, yeah, dad's gone, but I still can't feel dad's gone because mom's still here. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing makes sense. Is that emotional pain, it's like it's an initiation process. So like I had 35 years of debilitating lower back pain, so I could understand the wisdom stored within it, which is pain is beautiful because it reveals what needs to be healed or what longs to be healed. Okay. So
Yeah.
this pain is that you still have healing. And something we started talking before we started recording. I was like, I'm going to offer this. Okay. So
Yes.
I'm starting a Woman of Valor podcast, and I just taped the first 2 episodes. They haven't come out yet, but I'm doing a healing series, and I'd love to invite you to come on either once a month or twice a month, and we'll do a healing with a meditation, shamanic drumming, trauma to enlightenment coaching, and a personalized healing plan, and we'll like track your development. You can put it on your channel, and then I'll also send you clips, and we can put it on my channel too. What do
I
you
love
think?
that idea.
Yay.
I love that
Okay.
idea.
All right,
That would be
awesome.
lovely.
Okay.
And
I'll send you the link after we get off the phone. But yeah, okay, yay. Because I was like, because your story speaks to so many people. There's so many women out there with eating disorders. There's so many women out there with feminine pain, and like the
yes.
other guy that has agreed, he's strong in the AA community. I'm like, okay, I got the AA community. Now I'm looking for a firefighter, right? And then you're strong in the eating disorder community. We never know what else will come up, right? Like if I can
Right.
get people in these key communities, and then we can model how to self-reflect through the pain and teach people how to surf the waves of life, how to transform the emotional wounds into personal wisdom, we can help a
Yes.
lot of people.
And that's what we're here for, right? That's why I've had this podcast. It's been 3 years now. I can't believe it. And I'm so glad to have you on here. But before Kelly, you have to tell everyone who's listening here, because this has just been so much fun, and I definitely would love to have you on again.
Yeah.
It just blows me away. And we'll have to follow up because we are running out of time.
Yeah.
But about your daughter and her eating disorder and that, I would like an episode 2 if you're okay with that.
Yeah, we can do as many episodes as you want. I'm at home all day long.
Okay.
We can do your healing episode. We talk more about my daughter. Like right now, she's not
Yeah, I
talking to
just,
me.
so is she healed yet, or is
No,
she still going through it?
no. She's still going through
Okay.
it. She's not talking to me. She's still yelling at her.
Okay.
She's half Israeli standing up for the Palestinians. Does it
Yes.
sound like
How
she's
old is she?
healed? She's 23,
Okay.
you know?
So yeah, so I had on and off with my daughter too. She did not have eating disorders, but she had
Mhm.
issues with me. She still has issues with me, and she's 31. You're a mom. Daddy's
We can
great.
get her in here
Mommy's
too and get
not.
the drum out and open her heart. We can do like a mom-daughter healing session.
She,
We can just do
that would
whatever we
be
want.
fun. But she really has come a lot more forward, and sometimes it's me. I'm so afraid of getting too close to her again in case she leaves me again, because she did that
Yeah,
3 times, that
yeah,
I might have a wall in front of me.
yeah.
Too afraid to get too close to her, and I really want to tell you that could be also an issue. So
The
with that,
drum is your best friend right now because this drum, the meditation, the drum will open your heart to the wisdom. It'll help you get past the fears that are blocking your ability to surrender to the pain.
and you
So when we
sell
have our
those on yours.
sessions, hmm? What?
Where'd you get those?
Oh, the drum? Oh,
Yeah.
it's when I did Reiki drumming class. I have 2 drums, but like here,
Okay.
so like
And for people who are listening to this, she has a Reiki drumming. You'll have to look it up. Oh, I like that.
so in our session, we'll do about a 4-minute meditation, 5-minute meditation, and then we'll about 10, 15 minutes of drumming. And people can, participate. Like just because I'm talking to you doesn't mean the meditation and drumming will help them too on their own. And then we'll get into helping you self-reflect, dive into your emotional pain, and pull that wisdom out that you've been waiting to pull out. Like there's a reason that he's 20. Is it your nephew that died when he was 23? Did you say?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
nephew, like he's got wisdom that the pain from him is going to share with you. You have wisdom. You have the message from your mom. Like it'd be so exciting to see, like, what's the message from your mom? Like I want to see, the
My
drum.
dad.
Yeah, the
Yes,
drum will really help you.
that's awesome. So you do have your book out. So let's go back to that. I want our listeners to know where to find you, to go on your website. You're just a dear. By the way, listeners, we do have this on YouTube, and if you want to see just how incredibly enthusiastic Kerry is, it's like a good thing to go. Video is not the best because this is all about podcasts, and podcasts is probably not the best sound either, but I don't care. I want the message out there. So please tell our listeners where they can find you. Go ahead.
My website, www.kerryblaser.com. That's Kerryblaser.com. I'm also on Amazon, My Inner Heroine, Exploring Feminine Pain. And you can book a session with me on my website. I also have a free session for first responders and military, a free 2-hour session, and then they get 50% off my client fees as well. Or, and if you're struggling financially, just reach out via email and or schedule the free session. We'll work it out. I'm here to help.
I love it. And that's the important part, right? And this is why I love having people like you on my podcast, is for people who really are there to help. And I know that having dealt with a mother and a daughter, which is funny that you're in the middle that didn't have it.
I have disordered eating. I definitely do emotional eating. Do I have a full-blown eating disorder? I don't think so. But definitely disordered eating.
Okay, so you have understanding about that. So this is very important that you can actually relate, but literally you can relate because you have a daughter. Like that was a big, before we go, and I know we're over time a little bit here, and we will talk about your daughter. Hopefully she'll come through, but with me, I was so afraid my daughter would end up with bulimia. Okay, that was my big thing. But she does have, she's much better now at 31, but growing up in her teens and so on, she gained a lot of weight. She had weight issues. She was bullied for her weight issues. I was before my bulimia, by the way, which was part of the moving into it. So there are how do you get past it? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this to ourselves? I've learned to myself to make a really good friend with my food and understand that my emotions, but it took a lot of years. I mean, I'm 15 years now. It's going to be 15 years. But for the first 6 years of being non-bulimic, there's a lot of learning to do and a lot of realizing the best thing is being able to go out, have a meal with your friends, enjoy, and not look for a bathroom.
I've never experienced that. What a relief. You can just enjoy the moment without having a freak out. Now I understand that. I'm not going to call it a freak out. Can you not get super triggered and enjoy a meal? These simple things. And I realized that my daughter just projected her self-hate onto her food. And I felt like a piece of food on her plate too, that she was cutting and chopping and organizing and controlling. And and that kind of came out when another time when she went back to inpatient when she was about 18. And I brought that up. I'm just trying to explore myself. I'm really open. And later on, she was like, well, you just showed how much you don't understand. I said, I'm just trying to learn. So I don't care that other people saw that I don't understand because I'm here trying to learn. Yeah. If I have something to learn, I don't understand, bitch. This is so I'm there trying to learn. And then I'm getting criticized. I'm trying to learn about you. And then she's criticizing me for it because then I'm going into her. It's classic.
Yes, that's classic. Normal. That's because now you're getting into her world that she doesn't want to. Now, this is the funny part. My mother didn't want to know anything about it. My ex-husband wanted to know nothing about it. I asked him to go for psychiatrist. I was going to see a psychiatrist. I invited him. He goes, no, I don't want to know anything. My mother just, this is stupid. This is stupid. Because my mother's okay, she's 90, generation, hello. But then she found out that her sister was bulimic. Her older sister was bulimic based on learning she used to go and throw up a lot. Yeah, Mom, Aunt Lillian was bulimic, only it wasn't known at that time what it was because Aunt Lillian didn't want to get fat, but she had to eat a lot of spaghetti because they're an Italian home and you have to eat everything on your plate. But it's not the mother's fault. It's society. It's my mother was great. And yes, she fed us a lot of food. And yes, we had to eat everything on the plate. That was just the way, the upbringing. Now today, if my kids have a meal and it's too much and they don't want to eat the whole thing, hey, if you're full, stop. but
Yeah,
we
and then we'll
weren't
save
taught
the
that
rest
way.
for later.
So
The
it kind
whole
of,
There's a lot
it's
of things in society like that. Like in the late
so many things.
1800s, two men decided that infants needed to cry it out and not be with their moms. Why? Because they wanted women in the Industrial Revolution working in the factories, and they wanted to separate the women from the
Right.
moms. So money was more important than the relationship. But there's the wound.
Yeah.
And this is us unveiling and learning ourselves. Like there's
Yeah.
so much we don't understand about ourselves, that we're souls having a human experience. And we
Yeah.
project, like, what people don't understand, the universe is a mirror. So really our experience is quite insular. But like,
It is.
if you
And
and
it's
I go
our
and see
own,
our own, if we
our
see the
own.
same movie, what you learn from the movie will not be exactly the same thing that I learned from the movie. We could have same, but
No,
we'll definitely have
totally
different.
different realities.
And that's what people don't understand, is like that I
Yeah.
pick up on and I'm drawn
Yes.
to what's in my energy field. So if I have
Yes.
selfishness inside of me, I will pick up on selfishness outside of me for my soul to show me my own selfishness. So that's when you
Yeah.
have shows like The View, right? Where you're a racist and you're a misogynist and you're, all this, you're transphobe and you're fatphobic. Oh, girlfriends, you just talking about yourselves. Why do you just keep talking about how messed up you are? Because it's exactly what they're saying. And because people don't understand that the universe is a mirror. I mean, we have mirror neurons, so we are physiologically set up to go through this. It's how we learn. Like if I want to learn how to ride a bike, I'm mirroring someone else, right? I'm learning from someone else. I learn from my parents. Like this mirroring thing is.
And you learn from society and your friends, and it's not, and that's where I find it really bizarre. So they'll always say, well, you're talking about the bulimia, it's maternal eating disorders, or whatever, with me and bulimia. And at first it was like, yeah, my mom was so controlling, she called me fat. But then was it just that? No, it was the magazines that were showing skinny people, the people bullying me at school for being overweight. That wasn't my mom. That wasn't my mother doing that.
Right, but that was
And
your
where
soul.
I found out was through a friend from high school how to do this. That wasn't my mom who taught me how to be bulimic. So this is how I perceive the world. I have to take it back. I have to learn. That's me. That's not my mom. That's not my friends. That's everything. This is what you're saying is what you bring in, right? Is what you become.
Yeah. Yes.
What you throw out and what new you bring in. Yes.
I love that. What we
it.
take in is what we become. So my parents had a lot of self-hate, and I internalized their self-hate. I didn't know as a child, but that was my soul planned that.
Yes.
Planned those wounds, planned all the challenges that I have, planned the valley of darkness, so that all those wounds could be turned into an equal amount of wisdom. And that's a difficult reality to accept, because most people that I talk to are still in the wounds, and they haven't experienced
and they
the
live there
wisdom.
forever.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but they actually live there forever. And they just keep doing this instead of coming up here and finding happiness. I've never been so happy in my life. Is there always happiness? No, but seriously, I know there's going to be things coming on. My mom's 90. I know there's challenges that are coming up, but it was just like I'm taking day to day while everything is wonderful. And that's the other thing people have to learn to do, don't you think? It's like, this day is beautiful. And sorry, I was going to say, and this podcast is wonderful. It's just because you're wonderful. Sorry.
Thank you. Like, so there's one question that I ask myself, and it's a gnarly question. If I am not grateful for everything the universe has provided, the pain, the bliss, the challenge, the epiphanies, all the hills and all the valleys, right? Why should the universe provide anything further? And that question, my children, why am I supposed to be grateful for your childhood? Okay, well, let me ask you. Why are you a photographer? Well, I had a lot of time. Why'd you have a lot of time? Were you in bed? Why was I in bed? Oh, so all of the greatness that you have now came from the wounds you experienced in your childhood. Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah. So you want to hate me for that? But it's hard because we have to go into the pain. We have to surrender to the
Yeah.
pain and be like, off, I hate everybody. To go, oh, there's the wisdom in the pain. Okay, fine, I'll climb my next mountain. And the wisdom helps us climb the next mountain. But then we got to go back into the valley. Let's surf the waves of life. There isn't just one wave. I mean, my waves now are just constant and high, but this is what I do all day long because now I know how to process through my emotions. And that's what we're here to do, is to process through our emotions, expand our emotional range. And what I figured out last year is that enlightenment is an emotion. I'm like, and I have a master's degree in East Asian religious studies, and no one taught me that because Buddhism is all men kicking women out and trying to get to enlightenment. Like, oh, you're trying to access your emotions without any women around? How's that working out for you?
Yeah.
How the little
Now for
boys
this,
got, how are
for
all the young
this.
boys in the monasteries? Yeah, all the sexual abuse that happens. Like,
Yeah.
because I went historical religious studies and not like just, oh, let me get enlightened. I learned all the gnarly, and there's a lot of gnarly. So,
So for the up and down valleys, though,
Mhm.
okay, right now I've done a lot of those. I
Yeah.
went like this, and then I stayed in the valley for a while. Then I had to rise up, and then I stayed up there for a while. Then I dropped it. They haven't been peaks and valleys really quick and going. Like, I mean, there's some that have stayed up there, dropped down, stayed down there. Right now, I'm on a nice, kind of like a beautiful valley that's all happy and everything. And I know that there's going to be probably a little bit pit that I'm going to have to go down to. Because again, it may
Mhm.
be, hey, it may be my mom that goes through it because I might go before her. Never estimate the fact that she's 90, I'm 62, but I might go before her. But in the idea that somebody or my sister or anyone goes before me, I understand there's the life and death experiences that are really painful, very, very painful. And they do put you down into a valley for a bit.
Mhm.
But you're right, though, about all those experiences about losing people and the pain. And I like that what you said is moving into the pain. Um, that the more you go through it, the stronger you get, the more you get understanding of how to get through it. Still not easy, but it becomes, you would have the word, more
Doable, manageable.
manageable.
Uh,
Perfect. Thank you. More
yeah.
manageable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and for anyone listening to this too, like going through eating disorders, bulimia, or whatever the case it is all about that. Like my 30 years of bulimia, and it wasn't 100% when I was having my kids, which I always bring this up on podcasts, sorry, but it was
No, it's
weird.
okay.
I quit during my kids. I quit during my kids because, oh my God, there's life in me I have to take care
Well,
of.
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. People
But
go
then
off
after the
drugs when they're
kid's gone, it's
pregnant.
like, okay, it's gone. I don't have to take care of me anymore. Like, it's like I
Yeah.
didn't like myself enough, but I loved that baby, but I didn't. But then once the baby's gone, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, a good mother
No.
was there for them all the time. But it was interesting how I went back to my bulimia after I had the kids, and except for between my daughter and my son, my youngest son, 2 years I didn't. But then after
Mhm.
I had my youngest son, three kids, overwhelm, work, all of
Yeah.
this, just trying to prove everything to everyone. It all came back. You could, don't be perfect. Just enjoy what you're doing. Find the best thing that you can do and just enjoy it. And I think that that's big wisdom too. If
For
you're trying to be
sure.
everything to everyone,
Well, the thing is, I was trying to be everyone a thing to everyone because I
yeah,
wasn't everyone to myself.
that's
I wasn't
right.
enough for myself. And so I was
That's
trying to
right.
prove myself to everyone. But see, there's the projection. It was like I'm trying to make other people not
Yeah.
reflect back to me my own lack of value.
Yes.
Okay. So the universe is a mirror showing me my lack of value as opposed to changing the inside. So the mirror changes. I was trying to change the mirror.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
I
most
like
people
that.
try to do is that they try to change the mirror. I had this happen yesterday at another podcast. Had a podcast, the woman was, controlling, and then afterwards she asked me for feedback. And I said, well, I wish you would have, spent more time on Justin and Andrew. And she's like, well, I was following your lead. and I paid for the podcast, and I gave her a whole email of feedback, and then she kept coming back how I was the problem, and I told her, I said, look, I'm requesting, with your manager, because she's at like a TV network, a meeting for this feedback because you requested feedback that you're unable to receive, and then you blame me for the challenges that I pointed out after you asked me for feedback. Ultimate gaslighting up the friggin' wazoo. And the same problem that I pointed out, the biggest thing is women will not take accountability for their problems. So it's all virtual signaling, her asking me for feedback because she just want to shove it down my throat because she can't receive it. She's a woman who can't receive. And women are made to receive, like, that's just clear as day. I got an innie because men got an outie. Okay. So, but here's the problem. She's so full of pain that she can't even admit to any fault. And so many women are like that today.
True. So true.
And that's why I make it my biggest point, is that, but we're doing ourselves a disservice. When we don't surrender to our pain, then we don't process our pain. And then we get the patriarchy. Yeah. Women like that create men who are unbalanced because she's not processing her pain. So they're not processing their pain. So they're looking for, usually their addictions come up and they're looking for other ways to minimize their pain. And that's what an addiction is. I mean, it went so far, like I came back, I said, I want an apology in writing and I want a meeting with your administration. She came back, this is over. We're publishing the episode and this conversation is over. Oh, is it now? Okay, well, let me go on your website, find your administration, send them an email and copy you. Did you not read my book that you said you did when I said I did risk and issue assessment at a major health insurance company and did a major thing in making them pay claims? I help people see themselves. I've experienced enlightenment more than 10 times last year. It's like, it's that bad out there for women. Wow. Women took on this much pain to show themselves how much we don't value ourselves. If women actually valued themselves, they wouldn't tell themselves they got to get a college degree that won't pay them anything, get a job, compete with men, and then try to get married in their 30s when men don't want them anymore. So out of alignment with how attraction and biology works. Like the best time to have kids is 18 to like 35, and you want to start looking for a husband in your 30s? But that's what society taught us. It's all over television. It's all over movies, magazines. It's everywhere. It's the control. We need to kind of disconnect people from themselves because people who have fear are easily manipulatable. You can manipulate someone who's fearful. Someone who has self-belief and self-confidence, then you're going to need a lot more logic to get them to act. But people who are afraid, like COVID, fear, everyone get the shot. You're all going to die. You're all going to die. I didn't get the shot. I never got sick. And I went out all the time because I didn't fear COVID. And I know how reality works. When I fear something, my soul will bring it into my waking reality to show me I have that fear, just like I had a wound that I'm replaceable. Fear of men? Oh, why don't we bring Andrew Tate into your life? We'll solve that fear. You know what I mean? Like, this is all why these things happen is because Carl Jung said it perfectly. Where your fear is, there is your task. We are here as souls having a human experience to face our fears, overcome them, and expand our consciousness. And that's the only reason we're here.
I will finish that with not fully agreeing with you. It's just women. I have bumped into many men who have they're very sensitive because this generation, a little bit different. You can actually, maybe they were before, but in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they have to be like the man, the macho man. There's a lot of men that are born in the mid 80s, early 90s and onwards that are a lot more sensitive. I've worked with quite a few of them. They're like the age of my son. And they're very sensitive. They've gone through divorces. They've gone through all
Yeah.
the BS of like my age generation dealing with that. So I just want to throw that out there. And I know that there's unfortunately who are boys and men who are getting eating disorders as well
Oh
due
yeah,
to
a lot.
this. So your support on really taking power of, I don't know if it's like the power, but taking, taking, and I don't like the word control,
Mm.
loving yourself, getting to know yourself, making sure that
Yeah.
you know what you want, what your surroundings are like. If somebody comes into your life you don't like, say bye. Don't
Yeah.
be forced to say hello and yes and thank you and always yes, yes, yes
The people
anymore.
pleasing. Mm-mm.
Right.
No,
That's
I mean,
it.
totally. Like, I didn't know how to be feminine, stay in my healthy feminine lane. So I kept
Yeah,
going
I
over
hear
to a
you.
masculine lane. And so
Yeah.
I would attract men into my life who are not healed and they're in their feminine lane. And we're just crashing into each other all over the place.
Yeah.
And those were all my mistakes. Those were all my wounds. Every time I crash into a man, I'm not in the right lane, right? Or he's not
Yeah.
in the right lane. But now
Yeah.
I know how to be healthy in my feminine lane. So I will attract a man in who's healthy in his masculine lane. And we have so many problems with healthy masculinity for so
And
many
that
reasons.
you can join where your masculinity is because we do have it, and the
Yeah.
female is in him
And then
because
you
I
guys,
believe that each of us have a female and a male. Like the males will be more male, but they have that
yeah,
little female side.
yeah,
Not one man doesn't. It's that they bury it. And women, they want to compete against the men, so they come out with the and then sometimes they lose control of the fact that, hey, wait a minute, I'm a woman. Hey, no, I don't want to compete with you. I just want to be me.
right.
Yeah,
But here's the
just
thing,
me,
where
just be
society,
you. Right?
society's really hurt us because like the birth control pill, it suppresses
Oh,
women's ovulation, and
yeah.
ovulation builds testosterone in men. The food
Never took it.
supply, you know, I did,
I
and
couldn't. I couldn't.
yeah.
They told me that I would end up with my ovaries would go into a coma because
Oh wow.
because I was never regular anyway. And I
Hmm.
said, I want to go on the pill. He goes, no, no. He says, I know it regulates your period, but with your ovaries not getting
Hmm.
regular periods,
Yeah.
and that's part of the eating disorder.
Yes.
Hello, women out there, whether you're, 18 or 30 but of course, by now, it doesn't matter to me. I'm 60. I don't get it. But
Yeah.
irregular periods will happen, and that's just
Mhm.
straightforward and out there because you are abusing your body um, and your mental health. But don't take that wrong. Don't take that wrong. It's just like it's an actual fact. And then what it will do is, you're not going to get your periods. You're not going to get them. I didn't. I used to get them maybe once every 6 months, once a year, because you're
Yeah.
starving your body. Your body is saying, hey, I'm shutting this down in order for you to survive. Because if I keep functioning this, and then there's a very big possibility you can't get pregnant
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
you're starving your body. Yeah. And because,
Well, people are
yeah,
having a really
definitely.
hard time getting pregnant right now.
Yeah.
It's a problem in society that well, all of our hormones are out of
Oh,
balance.
huge.
You know.
Yeah. And because, and particularly, but people with eating disorders, honest to goodness, it is a big, big, big problem. Just make sure that you look up a tea or there's like, it is all natural feminine. If anyone out there is looking to get
Mm,
pregnant,
mm,
stop having your eating disorder. At least try for a little bit if you are wanting to. If it's worth it and you want a baby and you want to really have a baby, yeah, that's going to be a big thing. You have to stop. You have to stop your eating disorder because it's a big mess in trying to get pregnant. If you have an eating disorder and you want to have babies, yeah, you definitely, it's a very big necessity to just think, what's more important, that I continue with my eating disorder, or do I really want a baby? And that's going to make your choice, right? We make choices, good or bad. But I'm telling you, having an eating disorder makes getting pregnant a whole heck of a lot more difficult.
And also, a natural process the pregnancy brings the woman through. It's a natural healing process. Like you said, you were able to stop because you were loving on yourself and loving on the baby. Then once the
Oh,
baby came out, then you went back. But that's just how much challenge you were having. So, to kind of utilize the pregnancy as a catalyst for healing and growth would be a positive thing. Very
Oh,
positive.
it is. And honest to goodness, here's another thing you were talking about women. We can have babies, and there's something I'm very, very aware of. I feel sorry for men. It is the most absolutely, I know not for all women, but I know for the majority of women, the most amazing experience to feel a human, little feet traveling in your stomach. And I never wanted kids, and I thought
I
I
had to
couldn't
push
have them.
back.
And then and I'm going, wow, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
Can
Well,
I
my
have another
son, I
one?
had to push back. He would push so hard with his feet,
Up
I would just
here.
push back. It's like,
Yeah, I
hey,
would do the same. And then, can I have another one? After 4 years, I'm going, I love this guy too much. I need another one. So I went on my FemMend again. It's a natural herb thing, and it helped out. And then yeah, so for the next after her, I didn't have my bulimia again until after I had my third one. I was overwhelmed, 3. But
yeah,
no excuse, no excuse, but that was my excuse. Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I'm going to work. I'm taking care of 3 kids. I'm doing
yeah.
this. Yeah, get rid of shit that you don't have to do if you're in that position. And that's
Do you
what I've
know
learned
who,
today.
do you know who just texted me that I
Who?
haven't heard from in a while? The girl from the hospital with the eating disorder.
Oh,
That's trust the process, right? Like we're talking about eating disorders. Let me text her back
and then you
and
get
tell
it.
her. Hang on.
So
Um, hang on.
I really don't want to cut this off, but I kind of
Mhm.
have to
Oh yeah, let's
because I
go.
have another podcast and I'm like so excited, but we're like
I'm
15
gonna
minutes
email
past my due
you.
time.
We
Please do.
I have your email, right? I sent you the book.
Yeah, you're the one who emailed me directly. I'm going to just stop recording
Okay.
because I'm going to have to do some editing here because we did a lot of fun. Thank you for listening to this episode. Be sure to visit me at bleepbulimia.com.